body when we press up into Urdhva Dhanurasana, also called wheel pose or upward facing bow. So I thought that that would be a good thing to do since we recently just had a tutorial or a how-to for the upper body pressing up into that pose. And I know that low back pain is something that's really common for people in that pose. So I'm actually going to start by turning around. So you're going to have to take a look at the legs. So one of the reasons that low back pain happens is because of this alignment. So like the upper part of the glute max kind of takes over and we push the thighs forward and the legs turn out. Right? So one of the things that we need to do in this back bend is to keep the thighs back, right? Keep the feet parallel and then turn on the inner thighs. So the action is of hugging the legs in towards each other. Right. So if you take a look at this in like a belly down back bend, right? So the alignment of the legs, I'm just going off my mat so you can see my feet a little bit better. So again, this is the common tendency is for the thighs to roll out and the hips to kind of push forward. And then sometimes it's counterintuitive, but sometimes people try to compensate for that by tucking their tailbone under, which is actually going to compress the lower back more. So what we want to do is widen the inner heels so that your kneecaps are pointing straight down. Press the tops of your feet into the ground. Squeeze your bottom and then squeeze your legs towards each other without rolling your thighs out. Just squeeze your legs towards each other so you feel the muscles on the inner thighs come to life. And then once you feel like you've got a sense of that, you're going to make your way down onto your back. And then just try to find the same thing here. So right, feet parallel, feet neutral. And just take a moment to find these pelvic rocks, right? So you're going to go back and forth between having your low back flat to the ground and then having a deep, deep curve in your low back, right? And just going back and forth. And feeling what happens to your spine and this, and then find neutral, somewhere in between. So your hip bones are looking straight up at the ceiling. They're not tilting towards your face and they're not tilting towards your knees. They're looking straight up. So there's that hint of a curve. Your lower back isn't quite flat on the ground. And then press down through your feet. So before you even lift up, just press down through your feet, give your bottom a squeeze, and then hug your legs towards each other so you feel your inner thighs. All right, now really press the big toe ball mounds into the ground and come up into bridge pose. Now the same thing here, press down through the heels, squeeze your bottom, feel the inner thighs flow back, all right, draw the ribs back, and hug your legs towards each other like you're trying to crinkle up your mat beneath you. And then lower down. Take a breath. And so ideally before pressing up into this pose, you would do a little bit more warm up, right? But just for the sake of demonstrating, you're going to press up, right? Lengthen through the tops of the thighs, inner thighs hugging towards each other, and that action really has to come from the feet. So the feet are trying to squeeze towards each other, and then you press all the way up. Feet squeeze towards each other, big toe ball mounds on the floor, lift your chest. And feel that balanced action. The heels stay wide, kneecaps looking straight ahead, rather than letting the feet turn out, right, and the thighs pop forward. And then slowly coming down. So that's just one tip for the lower body to prevent low back compression and low back pain in that pose. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I release videos twice a week, and I'm also teaching on Instagram Live every Mondays at 5 p.m. That might change in the future, but that's what's going on for now. All right, thanks so much. See you next time. Namaste.